guy had major confidence.
How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about Nova Online, and what has Nova not been up to here recently? I mean, just about every single day, there's some more Nova Online news just dropping out of nowhere, and it's so funny because not even like 2 months ago, I would have considered Nova Online one of the most boring lolcows, like, in existence. He never did anything, he would just pop up every now and then doing something absolutely ridiculous, just enough so that more people would cover him, and just keep his name going. Nova could have had it so easy compared to other lolcows. He could have just faded into existence. We'd have never thought about him too much. He'd been that memory, like, hey, you remember Jupiter Online? You mean Nova Online? Oh yeah, they're different people. Wonder what happened to that guy. Better left a memory. And no one would ever say a thing about him. But these last 2 months, it has been going crazy. Because now, not only people on the internet are dropping news about Nova since 99% of his life is just on Discord, but people in his real life, people that he's worked with, have decided to just out Nova Online. The Diaper Diplomat is catching strays left, right, just catching multiple 1-2 magoos. Because yes, some guy, some unfortunate soul had the worst luck in the world, and DP's biggest fan, Nova Online, was his coworker. Am I talking about Dr. Peppers, or am I talking about diapers? The world may never know. I'm talking about diapers. So this guy, he gets his dishwashing job. He's like, it's probably not the best gig in the world, but you know what? I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna put my hard work and effort in, and I'm gonna prove to these people that I can rise through the ranks. And if he wasn't thinking any of that, he was just like, alright, I can go here, get a check every 2 weeks while I figure out my life. One or the other. But as he goes to his first day on the job, he realizes something just absolutely tragic. He sees Nova Online, the Diaper Diplomat himself, just standing there looking like a 0 out of 10, screaming, can I get a French onion soup please? If that's even where he's working. I'm pretty sure it was a Denny's and they don't have those, but if they did, that's what he was screaming. So he goes to his job at Denny's and discovers that Nova Online's there. He doesn't know who Nova is, but Nova is such a lolcow that this guy is just starting to wonder, what does this dude do on his off time, What is he up to? So he investigates a little bit and discovers that one of his former co-workers was one of the biggest goofballs on the internet. Someone you can just go to and get a laugh anymore. That's Nova Online for you. So he decided, well, I guess I'm gonna tell my story. And you know what's the best part about this? This guy sit there for 8, 10, 12 hours a day dealing with Nova Online. So just think about all the stories that he has. Think about all the coworkers you don't like, all the trash talk you told your friends after you got home and was having a few drinks. Well, maybe this guy is that guy for us. We can only hope that he has more Nova Online stories, because it could only get worse from here. But that's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and jump right into this video so you guys can know what I'm talking about.
Alright, this is the story of how I worked with Nova Online, aka Gabe. Okay, so my first interaction with Gabe was when I went to reapply to Dennys. I basically got my job back in no time. The GEM was too lazy to delete my information anyway. So I see him and he's got his hair tied back, big belly. First time I ever see him. I never heard of him online before. And I work a couple shifts and I realized that he's just a weird kid. And he would play weird brain rot TikTok music in the kitchen over everyone else's music. He would consistently ask everyone, guess what? And then you would say what, and he'd say these nuts. Pretty annoying. He was a prep cook, and in terms of his performance, it would be what you expect. He chose to hand slice every single tomato instead of using the slicer. He used wrong mixing containers to contain things, and never cleaned up his kitchen and put a lot of labor on the dishwasher. So The one time I wanted to hit this kid in the face was the day the water pipes broke. If you know me, you may know this story. And I've been working almost 10 hours at this point. And I'm trying to fix the mop room. I'm trying to clean it up. And this dude comes in here asking me to mop up a leaking water pipe. And I told him, bro, it's your workstation. It's your responsibility to clean this shit up. Like, it's the cook's responsibility to sweep their line. It's the dishwasher's responsibility to sweep their fucking dish pit. It's a prep cook's responsibility to mop up the water coming from the sink. Even if it's not your fault, you still gotta do it. And he just turns around, walks away, and says, "Thanks for the fucking help." Or, he said it in this voice, "Thanks for the fucking help." I just wanted to run up and punch the back of his head so bad, but I had to keep my job. I was running 2 jobs at that time, I think. Around that time, I think I had quit my other job. But yeah, that's my experience working with Nova. 1 out of 10 experience.
One of the first things I noticed of this guy's story is when he was like, I reapplied to this Denny's. You know, I go back. I left my job in the first place. So that means he already found the Denny's crappy. Either he was just been late to the job because he no longer cared about it anymore, or he just said, you know what, screw this place. I can't go back to this place anymore. And I think we all know that feeling. When you've just been to a job 2 months, you hate the place. You don't really like the people that you work with. So you're just dying to get out of there. And so he finally did. But he ran into a problem a lot of us also run into. It's like, well, I guess I do need money now, and I'm kind of having a hard time coming across that, so I guess I'll try my hand at this again. You know, it wasn't the worst. I mean, out of all the crappy jobs I've had, this was the least crappy, and I think I was the best at it, so I can probably breeze through it. So he goes, he reapplies, and he gets the job. Like a win-win scenario, you know, 50-50, right? And he goes in on his first day, and who does he see? The pudgy Puerta himself, Gabe. So he sits there, and he takes a good look at the guy, and he's like, is this gonna be my worst nightmare? He's like, no, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't sit there and say this is going to be your worst coworker ever, because he's not. He's going to be a nice, friendly guy, and you guys are going to get along. And the first thing Gabriel does when he sees him is pulls a D's nuts jokes. And it's like 2022 around this time, so far off from when that was popular, but this seems to be like the only joke that Nova Online knows. It's like how he introduces himself to people. It's like, do you not understand how annoying that would come across? Could you imagine your first day at work, you see a guy looking like Nova Online, and you say, hey, how are you doing, pal? Hope we get along real well. And he turns around and he's like, hey, guess what? And you're thinking it's about work, or maybe he's going to tell you something that you don't know about, you might need to learn, and he just hits you with a D's nuts joke. Are you really going to like the guy from there on out? They say first impressions matter, and Nova Online just completely obliterates that. And then you hear the stories of Nova Online actually working, and it's like exactly what I've been saying about him. We all know that Nova Online can't get a grip over anything. He just sits there, he panics, he overthinks stuff, and when he's not overthinking, he's doing absolutely nothing but screwing around on his phone, or just thinking about something totally different from the topic at hand. So when he always said that he wanted to be a cook, a chef, or a prep cook, whichever one he's really going for at the time, I knew that wasn't a good idea, because how could Nova manage a kitchen? Not only that, how could Nova be organized enough to keep track of a kitchen? I remember back when I used to work at a Subway, I always hated when people would listen to their own music, because they would play the most inappropriate stuff that people could hear, and it would always get me every time. I always hated when my coworkers played music, because It was typically inappropriate, typically annoying, and if you're going to listen to music when you're in the back, just use your headphones so that no one else has to hear it. I mean, that's my opinion on it. You guys probably have something else, but at least think about how Nova Online is. Think about the stuff he's probably listening to. Do you really want to listen to that? I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's probably some high-pitched song that he just dances to, or he's just thinking of new video ideas that no one else in the world really likes, except like 12-year-old little girls. So yeah, Nova Online is just annoying as a coworker in that aspect in general, 100%. And then we start to hear more about his work ethic, and it just goes to show that Nova Online doesn't pay attention to a thing. You gotta know what goes where and what goes in what, because it seems pointless at first if you're like a new employee. Like, okay, I can just put this in that bin, I can put that in this bin. But no, it makes a lot of difference when you're like working 18 hours. You know, the store's shut 6-8 hours a day, but for like 16 hours that place is going and it needs to work smooth. If you're putting things in the wrong containers, well, then someone's going to expect there to be more in there. Oh crap, there's not as much as I expected. Like 99 times out of 10 there normally is. Oh well, let's go to the back and grab some more. Oh, they put them in the wrong container, so there's even less than I thought I was supposed to have. You've already ruined someone else's day. That's why that stuff has to happen in that order. And then Nova Online's like, well, I'm not going to use the tomato slicer. I'm going to cut things by hand because he's the Gordon Ramsay, the guy who hasn't cleaned his kitchen in 2 years. And what do we all hear on like one of the first episodes of Kitchen Nightmare? Excuse me, like the first 5 minutes. Clean your kitchen. Have a good kitchen that's like respectable, that people would walk into and not think it's disgusting. But Nova Online, he follows all the other rules because he's not going to use a tomato slicer. That can like mess up the tomatoes and it's not going to be as fine. But guess what? You work at a Denny's where things has to be like fairly quick. It's not fast food, but it's expected to be pretty quick. So Nova Online can get it done fast and make the rest of his coworkers' life easier, or he can do it slow and mouth off to people while he slowly cuts tomatoes. Like, even if you guys have never worked in a restaurant, I'm pretty sure you could take any job you've ever had and put a comparison to it, and you would realize just how much of a pain a Nova is to work with. And on top of all of that, out of everything Nova has done, like the small amount of stuff this guy's told us where we can already get the big picture that Nova Online is one of the worst people in the world to work with, he's a crappy person. He's a crabby person. Like, he's easily annoyed apparently, because when things are going wrong, which they always can, I mean, the stuff you sit there and you think, man, maybe I'll get to go home because of this. No, the water pipes are busted. You're going to be walking around in water all day, and there's going to be tons of customers still for some reason. That's exactly what's going on, and Nova's feeling that too. And we also know that Nova was probably a little bit angry because he stayed up all night long filming TikTok videos and then got about 2 hours of sleep because he's such an overthinker. So he comes to work just like everyone else, a little bit annoyed, but instead of keeping his emotions in check, well, Nova Online, I mean, we all know him, he's got the emotions of a teenager. He's gonna lose his cool just because you asked a little bit of him. I mean, think of it, the guy won't even clean his room when his mom asks him, and I mean, it'd be far more convenient for the guy if he just cleaned his room. Think about it, he lost a brand new iPhone but because he dropped it somewhere. Who the heck can just drop something in the room and it's gone forever? That's Nova Online's life for you. But this guy, you know, they both come into work and the water all over his feet everywhere, and Nova's like, hey, can you help me clean this up over here? We all got water everywhere, but I want you to take your time out of your day, who's got the far crappier job than the dishwasher. I mean, it's up to opinion, but I would say being a dishwasher is a little bit crappier than being a prep cook, especially since you get paid less normally. So Nova, the superior prep cook, you know, just looking down on this poor dishwasher, he's like, you better come over here and start mopping this up immediately. And the guy tells him what anyone in the world would. Hey, you know, that's your section. I've got my own problems over here. I'm gonna do my stuff and you go do your stuff. How about that? And Nova has the audacity to turn around and cuss this guy. I mean, we know it's a kitchen, and kitchens are high stress places. I mean, there's been more people cussed out in a kitchen than anywhere else in the world. But Nova, Nova out of everyone in the world to do it, we know what Nova's life consists of, so it's just so weird him having the audacity to cuss another man out. It's like out of anything you could be doing, Nova, you could at least do your job. We know you don't mop at the house, that's not how you roll, but at least when you're getting paid to do it, do your job, man. But you know how Nova is. He'd much rather be chatting up people he shouldn't on Discord than mopping. The former is his forte. That's how he rolls. He's not a man of cleanliness. Not at all. You know, just as we're going to transition to, almost very smoothly, into the Discord subject, because that's what Nova really likes to do. He likes to sit on Discord all night, pretend that he's a TikToker, and then go to these jobs and just screw around until they give him a check for his first 2 weeks and never invite him back. I mean, I actually heard that Nova Online did get a job here recently. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I've heard some rumors about what it could be, and you know, I believe it, but I'm not going to put it out into the air just yet. We're going to wait and see for this one. But yeah, Nova Online did apparently get a job, guys. If you didn't hear about that, you heard about a Lolcow getting one and you knew it wasn't Tophia. It had to be either Nova Online or Chibi. But right now, what we got here right in front of us is Nova Online declaring that not only is he definitely getting drunk on his 21st birthday, he already knows what he's going to be getting. A Stony MacGyver IPA. Have I ever heard of it? No, not at all. But it's so great that Nova Online is already on the King Cobra side of drinking. Not anything regular. He's not going to drink a Bud Light, a Budweiser. He's not going to drink Jack Daniels or anything normal like that. He's going right for the IPAs. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm garbage. I don't even really like IPAs. Every time I've had one, I didn't think they were the best. That's why I'm pretty sure that old people drink them. You can only drink 6, you can't get that drunk, so you can't be incredibly hungover. It's a win-win for everybody. You get a decent buzz and, well, you don't really have to deal with the after effects later. But here's Nova Online, a fresh 21-year-old kid who can't even get hungover most likely. It'd be almost impossible. Even though it's Nova Online and his luck, I could imagine it happening to him. But he's like, I'm just gonna jump right into the IPAs. What's next, Nova? Are you just going to be jumping right into the Papa vodka? Are you going to be walking around with the flask, pouring it into all of your 10 out of 10 Dr. Peppers? Is that your future? Because you're really stepping up in the drinking world for your first go around in the game, Nova. But what do you guys really think we're going to get from this? Are we going to get some great content from Nova Online finally having a drink? Or is he just going to be even lazier? Like, I'm starting to expect that Nova is just going to be the laziest drunk out of them all. Doesn't even care to get up and do a cross arm stream where everyone knows he's just begging for some alcohol money, which there can be some entertainment from that. Some people find entertainment from that. I don't watch much King Cobra JFS anymore here recently, but some people like it. But Nova Online, I couldn't expect it from him. I literally just see him laying in bed all day. But honestly, I think anything could be better than what Nova Online is putting up right now. If you check out Nova Online's recent YouTube streams, I have been screen capping a few of them, just like, yeah, I'll probably put them in this video right here. I went through them all. I scoured through like 40-50 minutes of clips, like, okay, I think I remember a few things, and I literally was just able to find an intro to the video. Like, there is so little things of interest going on. Nova Online is either sitting there in dead silence making paracords. I mean, most people would be able to find a way to make that interesting. No, not Nova Online, because he puts no thought into anything that he's doing. He's just like, okay, go sit on camera, make paracords, and yell at people who make $2 super chats at me. We're not going to take that slander over here. You guys get right out. I'm not going to ban you. Thank you for the $2. It's about as much as a paracord is worth. But, you know, come on, guys. And if he's not doing that, he's playing weird Nintendo games, not like anything normal that you would have playthroughs on, like Nintendo Bowling or Just Dance. And it's so weird because if Nova's recording gameplay, it's either gameplay and no face cam or Nova cam and no gameplay. So you're either just looking at Nova or looking at a game. And both of them are equally uninteresting. Like, you need both at the same time. Of course, you could play a video game without a face cam, but you would have to be interesting, you know, and Nova Online, he just doesn't have that. It'll be a 0 out of 10. We need the onion muncher himself, the Diaper Diplomat on camera, if we're even gonna suffer through any of his gameplay. But I guess that's about enough for me today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, and you know, my mic's gonna be a little choppy, a little messed up. I got a new one, but this is the backup until the next one arrives, which should be like a week away. I don't even know what happened in the shipping, guys. I'm literally about to run to Walmart or wherever the heck else carries microphones just to get a better one, but just bear with me for like a week. Sorry about the last video that we put out. I just had to keep it up for like YouTube reasons since I wasn't going to be able to post for another week, but we're going to be redoing that one, and I think we might have a special guest along with it, but we'll see about that, guys. Anyhow, thank you so much. Do everything I said at the start of this ramble, and I'll catch you guys next time.